Hey guys, this is Survey Teardown 26. We have officially passed the halfway point of the 50 surveys project. If you're new here, I'm Hannah, Qualitative Researcher and Survey Snob, maybe, sometimes. And we're on the road to 50 survey teardowns in give or take 50 days. Today's teardown is of this sign-up survey by Buffer. If you don't know, and for context, Buffer is a very useful, very smart social media management tool. It helps you schedule and publish on social media. You can analyze the performance of your content, which I love data, so I'm all about that. Quick note before we dive in, these survey teardowns are always more of a heuristic analysis. We can't fully optimize a survey end to end without knowing the exact goal of the survey or the metrics that, in this case, Buffer wants to calculate or track or measure. So what I recommend here, it might not actually hold for the Buffer team, but we are always following survey methodology, best practice, both for online surveys in general and then specific to sign-up surveys like this one. There are a few ways to optimize any survey, but we're going to focus on the main opportunities here. So let's get started. When you click on either this button from this landing page or this button from this landing page, that's when you get thrown onto the survey page. So this is a precursor to creating and then loading the dashboard of your trial account. First off, I love that Buffer even has a survey here. It's such a great opportunity to talk back to your new lead right in the middle of them talking to you, where them talking to you is them signing up. So it's just a perfect place to ask them a question or two as they do that. Second, this is a short survey, which is really great. Remember, the lead hasn't actually created the account yet. They're in the process of doing that. So introducing friction with either a long survey or sign up process, it can be a huge deterrent. But these are like 3 itty bitty multiple choice questions. They're fine, not harmful, not much of an obstacle, because you do expect some sort of engagement like this with the brand whenever you sign up for something. Let's take a look at the questions themselves. First one, how did you first hear about us? They have some options here, including other, and I prefer not to answer. This is a pretty standard question, which is fine. I always encourage clients to be really clear on how useful a question like this is. It's nice to know, sure, but are you actually acting on this data right now? Are you modifying your marketing strategy accordingly? Are you testing the effectiveness of a new awareness campaign? Is this data getting funneled back into business marketing strategy decisions? If you're not actively using this information, I would actually cut the question, at least temporarily, because this is prime real estate. I would cut the question and swap it out with something juicier, something more actively and currently useful. We'll get to other questions you can ask in a sec, but let's hop on over to the second question. Which option best describes your business? What's nice for this is that when you click in the drop down, they do have explanations. So for example, publisher, I wouldn't have thought off the bat, like the definition wasn't intuitive for me. So it's helpful that they even have definitions here, just so that everybody's on the same page when they pick one thing over the other. An other option would be nice here. So they do have other here. They don't have it here. Perhaps that's intentional. Perhaps it's to force people to pick, although they do have the kind of an opt-out option. Maybe this is in response to previous data, eliminating other. This is also a pretty comprehensive list, so it could be because of that, but just something to note and keep in mind. A question like this, it does imply for the customer that there's a chance that I might get tailored information based on my response. If that's the case, if my answers to any of these questions are going to serve me, either in future content or emails that Buffer sends, maybe the way the dashboard's set up or in-app messaging, it would just be really great to know. You want to actually include that kind of messaging, that kind of benefit-driven messaging right under, or even playing with the headline here, right under or beside or above this part. Let's get your account set up. So we could say something like, your answers will help us will use your answers to personalize your dashboard. Something like this, right? Something benefit driven that really incentivizes the value of these questions and the value for the customer and why they should answer them. Because people will answer these questions purely because it's the go-between to set up an account. But if they're eager to answer them, if they see their answers as actually helping improve their experience with Buffer, then you're already succeeding in this relationship with them, right? You've already created a positive experience for them even before they've set up an account. All right, let's look at this last question here. How many people work in your company? I imagine the data from here will be used to maybe upsell, figure out categorize small business to mid-market to enterprise, maybe business-specific messaging. It's a pretty normal question as well. Nothing alarming that really stands out here. Nice that they have an NA for folks that don't feel they fit into one of these categories too. But again, you just want to make sure you're actively using the data to justify collecting it. Because all in all, this survey is fine. It's functional, right? But it's not really digging deeper, is it? Like, it's categorizing the customer. It's helping us maybe tag them as agency versus B2B online brand. And maybe they get particular onboarding email sequences because of that. But this moment is actually one of the first times that this new lead is interacting with the brand. The survey is maybe the first time we're actually talking to them where they can, in this moment, respond. And the questions here aren't really helping us know how they think, which would be a really powerful thing because they're right in the middle of signing up for a trial, right? They are mid-action. So why don't we ask them about the action? The best time to ask someone about what they've done is when they're actually doing it, and they're doing it right now. They're signing up with Buffer right now. So what about a question like, what made you decide to sign up with Buffer today? Or what brought you to sign up with Buffer today? You want to get them with a question like this to kind of pull you into the narrative of their current experience. This is going to give you insight that's way deeper than like the categories that we've got here, right? Because it's going to also give you, ideally this would not be a multiple choice, but it's going to give you customer language that you can then use back on the landing page, even in your onboarding emails, maybe. Because this is the first time they're actually choosing Buffer, right? This is the first point that they're choosing Buffer in their customer journey. So let's find out why, You could even do a question like, are you using another social media management platform? I would probably play with the wording of these questions, but hopefully it's giving you an idea that this is going to tell you, like, are they familiar with social media management platforms? Are they looking for something hyper specific that made them switch to Buffer or want to try Buffer? Are they maybe newer in the awareness of how a platform like this even works? So you're going to start to get some more like psychographic, deeper information than role and business type and industry. You could even ask like primary use case. So like, what do you want Buffer to help you achieve? What do you want Buffer to help you do, right? Because so Buffer offers publishing tools, analytics tools. So this might be great to see what their primary use case is. Like, are they leaning towards a particular platform or a particular outcome altogether? Segmenting customers by outcome is so powerful. And I would argue more powerful than segmenting them by role. Role is great and useful, and you want to talk to small business differently than the way you talk to enterprise, of course. But outcome is extremely powerful. Like, what does the customer want to achieve with Buffer? Because then you can help align Buffer with them achieving their goal, right? And that's infinitely more powerful. It's like a connection that you're forging with the customer. Like, hey, this is your outcome, and now I'm going to align with you on this goal, rather than this being like a checkpoint where Buffer is just collecting data. Hopefully that makes sense. lots of options here based on the goal of your survey. The great thing about a sign-up survey like this is because it's sort of the gateway for everyone to start a trial, you're going to get a lot of traffic through here. So you should get a pretty decent response rate. And you can always swap out questions. Once you've got enough data on one point, you can cycle through a different question or a few other questions. But ultimately, I would stick to 3. So if you've got multiple choice, 3 questions. If one of them is a free text, like open text, I would do 2 questions. But that's it for today. I hope you like this video. Hope you found it helpful. If you have questions or comments or disagreements, or you want to share your sign-up survey, do it in the comments. I will hang out with you there. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit subscribe so you are the first to know about the next survey teardown. And I will see you back here for teardown 27.